All right, I'll go.
Okay. Get us
Mi-
out of this.
yeah, mine is kind of short.
I want Steve to go so dark right
It's
now. That
no, I'm
that would
kind
be the
of
comedic move.
kind of going cool, and it also ties in a little bit with our home.
Short and sweet.
Short, sweet,
Like
ties in
Sabrina
with our
Carpenter?
home. Has a little cool history. It's American as fuck. Let's bring it back on course to America's not completely.
Oh, wait a
evil.
minute. I just realized that mine's
Yeah, no.
mine's going to reflect poorly on our past as well.
Let's talk about Daniel Bissell.
Who's that?
He was an American revolutionary spy,
Oh.
which he was the first recipient of what would be known as the Purple Heart,
Okay.
and where that came from and why, and what his work was. So, Daniel Bissell, he was, let me get this, born in Connecticut. So he was part of the Connecticut infantry. He realizes that the only way to find out about the British's lines and what they have and is to actually get within their ranks.
Okay.
So he tells Washington about this, and Washington's like, "Yep, we're going to send you as a spy.
He's a sleeper cell?
You're going to be seen as a deserter from the Continental Army, and you're going to join
You're
them.
gonna say you're a loyalist.
Yep, and you're going to tell us everything about them."
He's a double agent.
Well, that's really like it's an almost underrated aspect of why we were successful. Was like we had a great spy ring.
Yes. Several.
Oh yeah. And it actually ties in with our home, Staten Island, that is.
Yeah.
So he joins for 13 months in the British infantry, led by Benedict Arnold.
13 months of Brit.
13
Oh.
months of Brit.
Okay. So this is late.
He's memorizing all their positions, their
Mhm.
cannons, their forts, their transport roads,
Was he
everything
in the
he
raid on
possibly
Richmond?
can.
Was he on the raid on Richmond?
I'm not sure what he did, like in there, because
They actually used this story in the show Turn.
oh really?
Oh, they
yeah,
show
like
him?
one of the last like towards the end, like one of the last storylines is when what's his name? The main character, Abe, joins up in Benedict Arnold's regiment in the when he runs a loyalist regiment. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's completely okay.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's not I didn't give a full
Mhm.
bulk of this because the main focus is the Purple Heart thing.
Yeah.
But let's just give a little example of how detailed he was about our own home. He details 2 British forts on Staten Island. The main fort on Staten Island is from
Wadsworth?
east to west, about 140 feet through, and about 100 feet from the north side to the south, and in great detail where the cannons are placed and the best place to attack it.
Where is it on Staten Island? Like contemporary? Like if you could see it on a map.
These 2 specific ones, I didn't check
There's
that.
no
This is just how
Mhm.
detailed he
Mhm.
was. And he actually he does a sketch of the fort and he shows where the 24-pound cannons are placed and
Mhm.
like so without this information you can't really attack this.
Right.
So he was critical in getting this done. He actually gets the last badge of military merit, June 1783, before it was
Right at the
replaced
end
with
of
the
the war.
Purple Heart.
Yeah.
So let's actually talk about that. George Washington, here's a story of him at a ball. So he actually was at a ball with George Washington and Daniel's wife. They're dancing, and Daniel steps on his wife's purple dress, and a piece rips off.
On Washington's wife?
No,
Oh.
Daniel. Washington heard the story at the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So he steps on his wife's dress, it rips off, and it's in the shape of a heart.
Wow.
Kind of. So Daniel folds it into an exact heart and says, "Hey, hold on to this for later. We'll put it back." Washington hears about it. It's like, "Oh, that's a great idea. I like that. I'm gonna give him the badge of merit for his work because it was crucial to our victory in the form of that Purple Heart in remembrance of what he did." And I have a picture of it.
Holy shit.
Let me
That's
see.
how that started?
That's really fucking
So if
cool.
you're watching the video, you're now seeing it. That's
Mhm.
why it's purple. And if you look at the Purple Heart nowadays, which you're probably showing as well, it's George Washington on
It's
it.
his
in gold.
face, yeah.
Mhm. I have one sitting in my room. My uncle got a Purple Heart.
Mhm.
So
It's for the
I
wounded.
thought you're stolen valor. Steve goes to the bars and puts it on.
I had no idea about this story.
now the award, the actual Purple Heart, was lost in a fire, and we didn't find out until like 1920, I believe.
Uh-huh.
That's when this all came to be. And in fact, I believe the badge of merit was last awarded 1783 in that war. in 1930s, like maybe 32, the Purple Heart became a thing. So like right before
Mhm.
the World War II is when the Purple Heart started
Mhm.
Oh,
to
so
make.
it's fairly recent. So like,
Very
Yeah.
recent.
if you were
yeah.
in like the Alamo, you weren't getting a Purple
yeah.
Heart.
Well, you weren't even in the United
you weren't even getting it.
States.
Well,
for
yeah.
that.
Well, this is
I
the
was just
second.
Spanish
You
American
picked
War.
the wrong one.
It was fresh in my mind. So Spanish American War.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1932 it was recommissioned by MacArthur in honor of George Washington's bicentennial.
In his park.
Yeah.
MacArthur Park.
That's where they left the cake.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the story of where
So,
and why the
yeah.
heart is purple, where it came from, and how that ties into our little home of Staten Island. Because all roads lead back there. You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yep.
All roads lead back. And like you said, Turn, I believe there was like a couple of spy headquarters on Staten Island.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
assuming this guy was using that as a headquarter.
Mhm.
Even though the island was mostly loyalist.
Yes.
Well,
That loyal island.
That ever loyal island.
Nah, fuck. All right.